give God my life. Yeah. My bravo, baby, my my bravo, baby, my Semite Manova, all the family suye, all the mammy Mubasita, Semite Mamirati, Mitibe Mamirati, my bravo, Mitibe Mamirati, Semite Manova. Give God my life. Yeah. My bravo, baby, my mirati. My bravo, baby, my mirati. Semite Manova. All the family suye. All the mammy Mubasita.
I'm Paul Schinks. I'm a counselor for education, welfare and culture in the stadsdeel Zuid Oost.
Can you tell us what this project is all about?
This is about learning the Dutch language.
And who are the beneficiaries of this very program?
For this program, this course, the beneficiaries were the preachers of the Ghanaian churches. 17 of them have followed the course for 1 year and now have finished the course with good success.
I see. I can see that they've been awarded with certificates. What qualification is this certificate all about? Is it the basic education of Netherlands, or they can go out and search for a job in with this certificate?
It is a basic course on learning the Dutch language as second language. Nederlands als tweede taal. And you have certain levels in that field, and most of them have reached level 2, and it's quite an achievement in such a short of time.
I see. So how long is this project going to stay? Are you going to continue till they reach the higher level of the education?
Yes, that's what I want to try out with them. To negotiate for a follow-up of this course, but that we have to decide within 2 or 3 months.
I see. So apart from the Pentecostal Council of Churches, the leaders, is there any other organization also who lives in the neighborhood can also benefit from this very project?
Yes, I see this project as an example, as a pilot of the way how we can reach groups of people here in Zuid Oost who don't speak the Dutch language. We have seen that with an effort and cooperation between the stadsdeel and these groups, it is possible to learn, to let people learn the Dutch language. And I hope through the preachers, many of the members of the churches will see that possibility to learn the Dutch language can be fulfilled.
I see. So in this case, if someone have the interest to also to take part of this very project, how can the individual get the access and also the opportunity to also be in the school?
They can get into contact with the stadsdeel, the Bureau for Newcomers, and they can, when there is a group that is formed, they can organize a course for them.
So in this case, every individual, every minority group in Southeast can also benefit from this very project.
That's right. It's not only the Ghanaians, but also all the other nationalities.
Okay, my next question is it the first time you people organizing something like this, or have you been doing it before?
Yes, we have our newcomers policy, and in that respect there are organized many of these courses, but this is a special course because it is a heterogeneous group of people from the same ethnic background in a special course, and that's a new approach of motivating people to follow a course while they're also working. So that's new on the course.
I see. So the stadsdeel Zuid Oost is taking care of all the bus, all the tuition fees and everything?
Yes, what we organize is the course and everything around that. And there are no costs involved.
Okay, finally, what is your advice to the people who are watching the television this evening? What is your advice to motivate people to also be involved in such projects?
Integration in Dutch society is not a process that you do in 2 or 3 months. It takes a lot of time because you have to adapt to new circumstances in a new society, and language is one of the main issues in that respect. If you can speak the language of the accepting society, you have more chances to integrate into society. So what I would advise people is to start a course learning the Dutch language, because it improves the chances you have in society and also improves the chances of your children.
So thank you very much, Mr. Paul
Skinks.
Thank you very much, and may God bless you.
Thank you. No thanks.
Dames en heren, het idee om een cursus Nederlands te beginnen kwam toen een groep voorgangers van de Pentecostal Council of Churches een bezoek bracht aan de wethouder voor onderwijs, welzijn en cultuur, de heer Paul Skinks, in het begin van het jaar. Het doel van de cursus was om de voorgangers een kans te geven de Nederlandse taal te leren en zij te laten oriënteren op de Nederlandse samenleving. Daarna zou de voorgangers hun gemeenteleden aansporen om te integreren in de Nederlandse samenleving. Wij waren nerveus in het begin van de cursus, omdat de meeste van ons eigenlijk geen andere woorden kenden dan doei en dag. Maar door onze belangstelling en motivatie raakten wij de zenuwen kwijt en gingen wij er tegenaan. Na een tijdje begonnen wij die gewoon woorden en zinnen ook te gebruiken. Niet alleen op school, maar ook met vrienden en met sommige gemeenteleden. De cursus heeft ons erg geholpen. Toen de wethouder ongeveer een jaar geleden het startschot van de cursus gaf, beloofden wij een dankwoord in het Nederlands te zeggen. Beloofd maakt schuld. En wat een applaus alsjeblieft daarom voor uzelf, beste collega's.
Well, as you know, we are the pastors of the migrant churches, and then as pastors, we are the leaders of the people, and unfortunately, most of us don't speak Dutch language for one reason or the other. I think this credit goes to Paul Skinks from the stadsdeel, who thought it wise to organize an integration course for the pastors, so that we as leaders, if we are able to integrate into the system, then we can help our people to integrate also. So basically this was the reason why the course was organized. And I can tell you that before I started the course, I only knew Hudmocha, and that was it. But after 1 year of intensive 2 days Dutch lessons, I can understand much better, though not express myself so good.
Why the Pentecostal Council of Churches Elders, pastors alone?
Let me put it this way. It's not pastors alone. We organize this program for the church leaders. First of all, the first batch was for pastors. But then the intention is to integrate the leadership of the church. We're talking about the deacons, the elders, etc. And then the hope is that we can then educate our members, because the Pentecostal Council of Churches in the South East is the largest single organization in the South East here. We have over 40 churches, and then we have about almost 4,000 or 5,000 members. So unfortunately, as I've told you, the young generation who were born here speak fluent Dutch, and they hardly speak their parents' language. On the other hand, we as parents don't speak Dutch. You can understand the cultural divide in the family. So I think it is extremely very important that we undergo through this Dutch course. And
in fact, my question was, why the pastors alone?
Well, I think that's exactly what I've said. We are the leaders. You have to start from the leaders. If you want to impact a society, then you have to impact the leaders. Because the leaders are those who lead, and then of course the people follow their leaders. So if we find it interesting, exciting, useful, we can encourage the members of our congregation to follow the same course as we have.
I see. So in this case, do you find this course very interesting and very important for we the minority groups in this neighborhood?
Oh, absolutely. If you're going to settle in a society, like the old proverb in English says, if you go to Rome, then you have to do what the Romans do. Now, we're here to settle. We're the first generation, as I said earlier on, who came from various countries. And we've started settling in the South East here. The unfortunate thing is that we have our children who were born in this country, who school in this country, and who cannot speak our own language. My children can't speak my language because they were born here. Why? Well, the reason is that I don't speak Dutch very much, and now learning, as you can see. But the children school here, and because they spend their whole time in school and with their friends, they speak only the Dutch language. But some can understand, of course. They understand their mother's tongue, but they cannot express themselves well. I mean, that's a fact. There's a problem we are facing.
But I have two kids and they speak a very good Ghanaian language.
Probably because you took time to train them. You took time to inculcate that habit of learning your language. But you're talking of one example in a thousand probably, which is not the case. It's not the example. The real situation on the ground is that many children in the families cannot understand their mother's language well, or if they do understand, they reply you in Dutch. So if you want to have your family intact, I think that also is a very strong reason why you should learn that language. And I think I would really strongly recommend that every parent should learn the language, if not for anything, for this reason.
I see. I wanted to ask you whether you want to recommend this course to people, especially to the church members and the society as a whole. But you've just made your point.
Yes, and I think that is the essence of we the pastors taking the lead, because I can say that in years back we didn't see the seriousness and the importance of it in this context. But now, I mean, given the environment we live, and of course also for the social advancement of our talents. A lot of the pastors, for instance, among the pastoral group, we have people who are well educated, but they can't find a job in the system because they don't speak Dutch. Myself, I've not been having a good job for some time because I don't speak Dutch. Now, if I can speak Dutch and get my niveau 4, then of course you see me in the bank or in the chambers.
But you have a job as a pastor.
Yes,
How do you say about that?
Yes, okay, of course. A lot of the pastors, or we are pastors, and as you know, we have our jobs as pastors, and some of us get our salary from the church. But not all the churches are in a position to take care of the pastor's salary. So, in some time, you require that you want to work something, do some job. And for that reason, and those pastors who want to do some work outside, I think is a good thing. And if I'm a doctor, I can still be a pastor, and that is it.
Okay, thank you very much for your cooperation, and I think I will talk to you some other time. Yeah, God bless you.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Eduse, can you tell me what the project is all about?
The project was meant to orient church leaders in the community into the Dutch society.
Why church leaders?
Church leaders because we are planning to integrate as many people as possible, and we believe that the best approach is to use the leaders.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Tell me about this project. You've just received a certificate, and I think you people were all with joy receiving your certificate. Does it mean this is your first certificate in Netherlands?
Yeah.
So you took these lessons because you cannot speak Netherlands. So for the past 1 year, you've been learning Netherlands.
Yeah, for the past 1 year we've been learning Netherlands. In the beginning, we only knew, as the speaker said, in the first we only knew do and dag, but now we can't speak so much as the Netherlanders themselves, but we can speak a little and we can understand better than before.
So basically, you can express yourself in areas that you think is necessary.
Why not?
Okay. Do you think this project is very essential for the minority groups in Zuid Oost?
Yes, of course. It's very, very important for all foreigners.
So I was informed that the project coordinator or the leader decided to use the Pentecostal Council of Churches, the pastors for that matter, to start this very project. Why the pastors?
Okay. The pastors, because he thought, not that he thought, but we presented ourselves to him. And the reason why we did that is that they knew that we were in the system, but they did not know us. So we have to present ourselves to them and tell them that we are here in the system, so they should get to know us. So what came out was that we have a steering board, that is the executive board in the Pentecostal Council. So the executive board gathered ourselves together. We are 5 in number. We gathered ourselves together, and then we went to Paul Skins. Many Paul Skins. He's the vet holder for education, culture, and yeah. So when we heard that he is the new vet holder in the Zuid Oost, we said, okay, let's go and congratulate him of his new post and of his new position in the Zuid Oost, and also to identify ourselves to him. So we organized ourselves. We bought a nice flower. Then we went to his office. We spoke with him, and then we congratulated him of his post and of him being the new vet holder in the Zuid Oost. And then we started to talk to each other, and then we presented ourselves that we are pastors in the Zuid Oost. And then we told him that, okay, we think it is necessary for us to learn the Dutch language. So he being the new wethouder and he being the wethouder for education, if he can do something to help us. And he was so glad to hear that from us. And he said, yes, I will do something about that for you.